Tark XL Retrospective Part 4. Let's go. Part 1, games I finished. Part 2, games I'm going to finish. Part 3, games I'm not going to play or finish. Part 4, games I want to play, have not finished. I really haven't even started. This part is kind of a continuation of Part 2. Part 2 is the games that I'm going to finish before I decide what I'm going to do with my YouTube channel. If I decide to continue playing games on YouTube, these are the games I am interested in playing that I have already made videos for on my channel. I have a list of games on GameFAQs that's over 600 long of games that I want to play that I probably don't have videos on. This is just a list of games that I've played on my channel that I may or may not actually do a series of in the future. Those are 8 Eyes, second game I ever played on my channel. Spiritual Warfare, the third. Alien Syndrome, the fourth. Bomberman, the fifth. Bomberman 2, let me reiterate. So, 8 Eyes. 8 Eyes is a Castlevania clone, and it is, in my opinion, more fun than Castlevania. There, I said it. Is it better than Castlevania? Probably not. But it has an interesting mechanic where you can control your little bird buddy to hit switches and kill enemies far away. And the controls actually work surprisingly well for one player. But what's interesting is you can actually have a second player control the bird, period. And I think that's really cool. It's one of the first games I ever played, kind of like Secret of Evermore, even though that was not originally a 2-player game. There's a hack out there that makes it 2-player, and somebody can play as the dog the entire time. This was the first game I ever played where you could actually have a second person controlling the animal buddy in the game. It's pretty cool. 8 Eyes. You should check it out. I would like to do a series, LP of that game one day. I've actually beaten that game. It is really hard, but I don't know why I'm saying it. It's just a game from my childhood, and I really want to play it. I really want to beat it. Spiritual Warfare. Spiritual Warfare is a Legend of Zelda clone with a Christian religion theme, and it's actually surprisingly good. I would like to play that game on my channel one day. It's on the Game Boy, on the Nintendo, on the Genesis, and maybe other consoles, but the Nintendo one is my favorite one. The Genesis one might look slightly better, but I would be playing the Nintendo version probably. Alien Syndrome. Difficult games. I don't know why I like some of them. Alien Syndrome is one of those games. I don't think I would ever be able to beat the game, but it's another game from my childhood, and I really enjoyed it, and I may want to play it on my channel one day, so yes, that's me shooting myself in the foot by saying that. Bomberman 2, in my opinion, is the first Bomberman game. It is not Bomberman 1, a proof of concept. It actually has changing levels and a story and various enemies and backgrounds and stuff like that, and to me, it was the first game that perfected the Bomberman formula. So if I was to ever play Bomberman games on my channel, that would probably be the one I would play. That or one of the Super Bomberman games, or Mega Bomberman, or the Bomberman, the RPG version, RPG-ified versions on the Game Boy Advance. I might play those down the road, but Bomberman 2 would probably be the first one I played. Chrono Trigger. I have mixed feelings about this game. It's another one of those games where I want to 100% it, but that's not fun. But when I get to the end of the game, I've done it recently. I played all the way through the game, all the way up to the end, where you talk to the man at the end of time, and he says, alright, here's the clues to find the ultimate weapons for all of your characters. And he gives you this completely heady, nonsensical list of clues with no specific direction. He's like, all right, here's blah. There's a dude in the past that has a broken radiator, and he needs you to fix it. But I'm not telling you which pass to go to, and I'm not telling you who the guy is. And you have to talk to him with a certain character, and it's like that for every single character. And it's at that point in the game where it falls apart for me. You can just go to Magus. The big worm-looking thing with the shell. At that point in the game, but in my opinion, by that time, you're not strong enough yet to fight final boss guy. So I think you at least have to do 1 or 2 of those missions, and I did 1 or 2, and I don't even know which ones I did after I did them, because those clues are so vague and ugh. Yeah. And I don't want to look up a player's guide, the opposite of what I was doing with my LPs. But anyways, I never started a series of Chrono Trigger on my channel. I just did a showcase video, and it's on there. It was the 8th video I ever did. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Back from the Sewers. Game Boy game. Was incredibly fun. I was surprised at how fun it was. I'd be interested in playing that game on my channel one day. I liked it. The third game in the series I think is even better than it. It tries to be kind of like a Metroidvania. Where you're rescuing all of your brothers and then you unlock them and you can go. But there's a persistent health in that game, and I think if all of the turtles lose all of their health, you get game over and have to start over again, and I don't think that's very reasonable at all. So Back from the Sewers to me is the best of the 3 Game Boy Ninja Turtle games. There you have it. 7th Saga. Wow. Brutally hard RPG. It's a game from my childhood. I would like to play it. I know the last boss it's one of those things where he's impossible to beat unless you find some kind of completely arbitrary code where you use these 8 relics in the exact right order in order to weaken him, and then it's like a one-hit kill after that. But whatever. I think the game is super unique, and I wouldn't mind playing it. ActRaiser. Birchador did a series on that game. That was good. You should go check it out. He knows way more about the game than I did, dude. But ActRaiser is a game. It was one of the first games that I played on the Super Nintendo as an adult that I didn't play as a child. And I thought, wow, this game is really unique and has a really interesting concept and really interesting game mechanics. And I played it, and I beat it, and I loved it. And I would like to one day play the game on my channel if it comes to that. But it's not in the plans right now. But yeah, ActRaiser, great game. Really weird, really unique. Also by the guys that did Soul Blazer and Grumble of Gaia and Terranigma. And the same company, Quintet. They make good games. Made good games. They don't exist anymore. Maybe the individual people do, but I don't know where they're working. Championship Pro AM. That game, that video right there, it has lots of views on my channel. If I was to ever play any of the Pro Am games, I'd probably play them in order. I'd play RC Pro Am, which is a Nintendo game. RC Pro Am, there's a Game Boy version of it. It's the sequel. RC Pro Am 2 on the Nintendo, which I think is the third one. And then Championship Pro Am, which is the Genesis version. I would probably play 1 or 2 on the Nintendo. 2 is interesting. 2 is a lot like Rock and Roll Racing. It has that really cool isometric with the up and down sections on the track and the track passing over itself. I like it. It's pretty cool. And by the way, it is Pro Am. When I was younger, I called it Pro AM, and I thought the M was capitalized, but it's actually Professional Amateur / There's a slash there, but it's not shown. And yay, I learned something because of this game. I learned that Pro Am means Professional Amateur. / Amateur, whatever. Crystal. Oh, brother. Crystal's Ponytail. That game is hilarious, and I would gladly do an entire series of that game. That game is ridiculous. It's like a game for fans of My Little Pony I think the game came out before My Little Pony was even a thing, and the game is hilarious. It is ridiculous character customization and off-the-wall bonkers levels. I mean, it's like one of those janky Barbie games on the Nintendo with the baseballs just ricocheting off of everything and jump. It's just so bizarre. You should go play it. It was satisfyingly entertaining, for sure, in all the weirdest ways. Death and Return of Superman. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Rare game, the only superhero game Rare ever did, and it was a pretty good looking game. It looks like it has like the Blackthorn, Rock and Roll Racing, Lost Vikings kind of color palette that Rare were so into back then, before they went to computers and conquered the world with World of Warcraft. They were Silicon and Synapse, and they were making games like this. And actually, I think they made this game as Blizzard, Death and Return. It's a beat 'em up. It's gritty and dark, and it's like the Batman, the modern Batmans. I think I'd play the game. Yeah, it was fun. Arcus Odyssey, brutally hard, over the isometric. What do you call it? It's like an RPG adventure game. Really hard with limited lives, but it reminds me a lot of Gauntlet. If anybody really likes Gauntlet, I would highly recommend that you check out Arcus Odyssey, because it's a lot like it. It's in that vein, that walk around, kill all the monsters, find the secrets, find the exit to the level. Yeah. Good game. It didn't do too well in the States, as far as I can tell. I think it came out in Japan and was a little more successful. Beyond Oasis. Oh, yeah, that's the game with Thor as the main character. Yeah, it's a really awesome action-adventure game. I very much would like to play that game in the future. Bugs Bunny and Double Trouble. One of my more recent new subscribers saw this old video on my channel. He's like, hey man, this game was fun. I like figuring out how to play it and then beating it, and you should do that. And I said, yeah, I'd like to do that. So I would like to do that. Time permitting. That's why it's on here. Mega Bomberman. Okay. Another one of the Bomberman games I would play. Mega Bomberman, as far as multiplayer Mega Mans go, I think this is the best one. It's basically Bomberman 5. It has the little rabbit kangaroo things that you can ride on. It has tons of power-ups, tons of levels, 5-player capabilities. To me, it's one of the best versions of Bomberman. Street Racer. A less good version of Super Mario Kart, but it's oddly charming. And it has soccer in it. What is that game called? There's a game that on Steam that's multiplayer where you use a bunch of cars to play soccer. This game did it a long time ago. Way before that game did it. And it is not very good. The one that's out now is probably way better. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. My favorite Bugs Bunny platformer. There it is right there. Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2. I like all the Crazy Castle games. They're kind of dumb and repetitive and simplistic, but I just like the idea of them. They're like simpler versions of games like Lode Runner. I think Nuts and Milk is that kind of game too, where you're running around and you're trying to smash all the enemies and trying to get all the arbitrary pickups. In this game, there's little carrots strewn about. You collect all the carrots and beat the level. But you have to avoid the enemies. It's kind of like Pac-Man, but like a slower paced version of Pac-Man, and with much more focus on puzzles and using the items in the right order. Yeah, there's other games I've played like it, but I can't think of them right now. Fire and Ice being one of them, actually, right below it. Fire and Ice. This game and I have a weird history on this channel. I thought for multiple years that I had actually done an entire LP of this game on my channel. And then there was a series of years or months after that in which I thought I didn't even do Fire and Ice videos at all on my channel. And I have in the past requested that Shadowhawk 2012 play the game, and he's played and beat it on his channel, so that even furthered my confusion. So I went back and looked on my channel, and I only did 5 no commentary version videos of this game on my channel. It is probably my top 10 favorite Nintendo games. Love this game. I would gladly do an LP of it after I finish those games in part 2. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. This is one of the 2 American localizations of the Super Nintendo game Puyo Pop. Super Puyo or something like that. The Super Nintendo version of the game that was released in America was released as Kirby's Avalanche. And this is the Japanese port of the game. And it was on the Genesis, Kirby's Mean Bean Machine. So, a Nintendo IP got it on Nintendo, and a Genesis IP, Sega IP got it on the Genesis. I personally prefer the Japanese version of it that has these anime characters that are associated with the Puyo Puyo universe. But yeah, Dr. Robotnik. I like the music in that one better. I generally don't like Genesis music, but when they want to do gritty, they do gritty, and it's definitely made for that. And this game has really gritty music, so if you want a metal version of Kirby's Avalanche, there you go, right there. Flashback. Awesome game. I'm not very good at it. I'd gladly do an LP of it. My favorite game in this genre, though, is actually Blackthorn. Blackthorn is excellent. Also a Blizzard game. Blackthorn is a Blizzard game. Flashback is not a Blizzard. I think Flashback was made by the same people that made Another World, or Out of This World, whatever it was called in America. I think it was called Another World in Europe and Australia. Cinematic puzzle platformer kind of game. I think the Oddworld games are in the same vein. But yeah, Flashback. It's very good looking, and it's very fun, and it's very hard. Eye of the Beholder. Another Capcom game. Really hard, but it's really fun. I'd be willing to play that game if somebody would help me understand how to make a decent team in that game, because I think there's something to do with putting magicians in the back and archers in the back and wizards in the front. I just don't know how to make the party. If somebody would just make a party for me that's good enough, I would play that game. Addams Family Values is a Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past clone, and it is janky, but it is really fun. The main reason I say it's janky is because there's a set of items that you have to collect, and you have to give them to Morticia. You play as Fester. You have to collect these items, and you give them to Morticia to get your life upgrades, like your heart containers. But you have to give them to her at very specific times and very specific orders, or you don't get the heart container. So if I was to play this game, I would have to have a list of what item to get and when to give it to her in order to get the right amount of heart containers. And if you've been watching this entire series, you know how much I like using walkthroughs while I play games. That is to say, not at all. I don't like walkthroughs. But I have a couple issues in Nintendo Power that talk about this game, and I think they show where all of the little, I think they're little black roses or something like that. So yeah, I think the game's surprisingly fun. There's another game in this vein that I want to play. It's called Crusaders of Senti, or Soleil. I don't even know how you say it. It's Soleil. Soleil. Or Soleil. It's a Genesis game. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past clone. I want to play both of them, but I would want to play Addams Family Values first, because it's the one I've played on my channel. These games, all of them. Metal Combat, Falcon's Revenge. It's the sequel to Metal Combat. It's a Super Scope game. It's really hard. I own it on the Super Nintendo. It's really hard on the Super Nintendo. But I would be willing to play it, and maybe I would beat it. Last boss in the game. Really difficult. I'm losing my voice. I've been recording for like an hour and a half, non-stop, and I generally don't do that. I don't talk that often. So I'm starting to lose my voice, and I hope I don't lose it completely. Doom on the Super Nintendo. Oh boy. Yeah. John Carmack himself actually ported this game to the Super Nintendo, if I'm not mistaken. And It does not look good. It does not have all the levels. But just, I want to find a way to play this game on the computer and make my own custom control layout so I can actually play Doom like with the WASD and the mouse. And if I could do that, I would love to actually play through this game. I love this game way more than I should. I actually have the Super Nintendo red cartridge. Oh, that game. Yes, if I ever played Doom on my channel, I would want to play the Super Nintendo version, even though it's really, really bad. Oh, well, low quality. Low graphic quality. And the enemies in the PC version of Doom, you can actually walk around the enemies and they'll face in different directions. On the Super Nintendo version, the sprites are actually one-dimensional, or two-dimensional, so no matter what direction you go around them, I think they're always facing you and shooting at you. It is just janktastic, but I want to play it. Wave Race on the Game Boy is probably brutally difficult, but what I've played is really fun. I know Wave Race 64 broke me as a child, and some of those harder difficulty levels, the waves are insane. I mean, it's like driving around bouncing on trampolines while riding on a wave racer, a jet ski, whatever you call them. Yeah, so the Game Boy one's probably as unrelenting as the N64 version, the sequel. Some people didn't even know. Yeah, Wave Race 64 is a sequel to a Game Boy game. There you go. The more you know. Mario RPG, that's a hard one. Because I do want to play it. I love it. I played it. I beat it. I like it. But I feel like one of my other YouTube friends, like Clysier, Birchador, Tofu Boy, any of those guys, one of them wants to play the game, and I would rather them play it. Because I think they'd have more fun doing it. I mean, I like the game. I have fun playing the game, but I don't... It's another one of those games where I want to 100% it. I want to find all those treasure chests, and I'm just not a completionist. I think a completionist should play this game and do it justice. I would miss something, and I would not like myself for it. I even own the player's guide for this game, by the way. I have 100%ed it in the past. Street Fighter 2. I have one video of Street Fighter 2 on my channel. I like the game. I'll play it. If I played it, I would want to beat it as every character with the actual ending showing. I think difficulty number 5 or 6 allows you to actually see the ending for every character. I would want to showcase every ending. And I think I could do that. I don't find this game to be as hard as some of the other ones on the list that I would have difficulty 100%ing. Mystic Arc. This one, I've been wanting to do a series of this game for so long. I started one, I didn't have commentary when I did it, and I was actually really, really close to thinking, I'm going to play this game, and then I would play another one. I'd play Terranigma. I would say, I want to play this game, and then I'd play Chrono Cross. I'd say, I want to play this game, and then I'd play Continuity. I want to play this, and I play Castaway. I want to play this, and I want to play, and then I play Donkey Kong Country. And then I said, one more time, I want to play this game, and then H.C. Bailey started to do a series of it. You should definitely go watch H.C. Bailey play this game. This game is fantastic. It is by the makers of 7th Saga. To me, I think out of all of the Super Nintendo games that didn't come to America, Super Famicom games, RPGs, this game and Seiken Densetsu 3 are the two RPGs that most needed to come to America. Mystic Arc is an awesome game. It is probably one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. I've never beat it, but every single minute of that game is such a joy to play. So good. There it is. Rudra no Hiho is probably up there too. But I can understand why they didn't bring that one to America. It would have been bonkers to translate that magic system into an American, into English. Because it's a create your own magic system based on the words you use, and the words were in Japanese, and just Aeon Genesis did it. I don't know how he did it. He's a madman, but somehow he made Rudra no Hiho, that's hard to say, Rudra no Hiho playable in America. The RPGs. I should probably make a separate video of this, but suffice it to say, Games that I think on the Super Nintendo in the RPG vein that should have come to America. Mystic Arc, Rudra no Hiyu, Seiken Densetsu 3, and there was one, Treasure Hunter G, I think would have been the fourth one, and maybe Der Lagerter, I don't know how you say it, Der Lanzater. It's a tactical game like Fire Emblem, Shining Soul. That would probably be the fifth one, but I'd have to go back and look. Yes, Mystic Arc. Fantastic game. All should play it if you want to watch somebody playing it. H.C. Bailey's playing it. Super Mario All-Stars. Clysier's playing it right now. Go watch it on his channel. He's playing Mario Brothers 3. One day I'll do a video showcasing why I find the original Nintendo version of Mario Brothers to be superior to the Super Mario All-Star version of Super Mario Brothers. The first game. So yeah. Arcus Spirits is the same game as Arcus Odyssey. This game right here. It came out in America as Arcus Spirits on the Super Nintendo, and it was called Arcus Odyssey on the Genesis. But it's the same game. Actually, it was canceled. I think it came out in Japan on one of those two consoles, or maybe it even came out on the Genesis, but it was canceled for the Super Nintendo. That company, Cygnus, I think was the name of the company. They got bought out, or I think a bigger company bought them and then closed their studio, so they weren't able to complete a lot of games for Super Nintendo, and that was one of them. Brainlord. Brutal action RPG. Brutal difficulty. I cannot beat the first boss in that game. It's so hard. The first boss in Soul Blazer is really hard if you don't know the pattern. The first boss in Brainlord, I can't even figure the pattern out. If somebody will want to do an LP of this that loves punishing Super Nintendo games, action RPGs, whatever, I would recommend Brainlord, because it is very rewarding but very difficult. So yes, I would try to play it one day, but it is really hard. Prelude to the Chambered. This was, I think it was one of those Ludum Dare, Ludum, I don't know how you say it, Ludum Dare games that Notch made. It was a first-person adventure game, and I made one video of it, and my microphone was incredibly loud and had a lot of feedback. But I had a lot of fun playing it. I wouldn't mind trying to beat that game one day. I don't even know if it had an ending. It's been so long since I played that. Elevator Action, awesome game. It's one of those games I played as an adult, and I was like, oh, to be a kid and have played this game as a child. If I was to play this game on my channel, I would not be playing this version of the game, the Nintendo version. I would be playing the Game Boy Advance Genesis only release of the game called Elevator Action Advance Old and New. Because there's actually a story and different characters in it, and that's the one I would play. Tennis. The first and probably only video in the Game Boy Timeline series. That game is fun and hard. There you go. Super Bomberman 2, look at that. Another Bomberman game. I like me some Bomberman, apparently. If I was to play the Bomberman games, I would be playing Bomberman 2 first, and then maybe Super Bomberman, then Super Bomberman 2, then blah, blah, blah. I said all that earlier. So yes, I would like to play Bomberman 2 one day. Super Bomberman, blah, blah, blah. Bejeweled. I streamed that on Twitch one time, and then I put the video on here. I don't think that's LP material. I mean, maybe unlocking all of the game modes, but it's not LP material. But I like it, so I'd play it if somebody would want to watch it. Kirby Star Stacker, Kirby no Kira Kira Kids, good game. I did some update videos playing it. I would like to continue playing it. I think I was playing on endless mode when I did that, but I'd be willing to play through the story mode in the game if somebody knows Japanese and wants to tell people in the comments what the story is. I don't think there's a translation of the game. It's the only Super Nintendo version of the game. I think the only actual version that came out in America was Kirby Star Stacker for the Game Boy Color. Not Game Boy Color. Super Game Boy? Whatever. Tigger's Honey Hunt. Played that with Nathan, Tofu Boy, while I was on Twitch. Super fun. Probably one of my favorite platformers on the N64. I would gladly continue that series. Monster Clearer, I could finish it. It's fun, but I didn't think it made for good commentary. But if somebody wants to see it, I'll play it. Donkey Kong Land did an update voice video when I had lost my voice of this game. This game haunted my nightmares for a time. I thought the game was so good for what it was, and for their ability to pack it into a tiny little Game Boy cartridge. There's one level that has you riding around on a cloud throughout the entire level and having to dodge things. Let me just say, Fuzzy Beetles are not your friend, and that cloud is basically a Buzzy Beetle. So, at one level was the bane of my existence when I tried to play this game on the Game Boy. I had the little yellow cartridge for the Game Boy. It was fun. I played it on the Game Boy, I played it on Super Game Boy. Was never able to get past that level. I think it's in the 4th world, and I think there's 5 worlds in the entire game. So I was like 75% through the game, and that ride the cloud, dodge the flying pigs, dodge the everything. It just, I don't do well on those little ride the platform, tiny precision jumping kind of games. So yes, I'd love to play it, but I don't know how good I'd be at it. Thus concludes this series of me talking about all 165 games I've ever played on my channel. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you're still watching this, why? I don't know. Thanks for watching.